we're working really hard to get all of those pieces in place so that our students will have what they need when they leave us, when they graduate from high school or when they age out.
Right.
So they've had the training that they need to be employable, whether it's in our local area or if they, want to move on and do something else. So it's a big jump for us, but we are really dedicated to making life better for our students when they leave. They don't feel like we just kicked them out of the
Right.
nest.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brighter Together podcast. My name is Janet Courtney, and my very special guest today is Ann Hilburn. Ann is the Special Education Director at Alaska Gateway School District in Tok, Alaska. And Ann and I had the great pleasure of having dinner together at CASE, the national CASE, and CASE is the Council of Administration of Special Education, because I don't know it and I had to look it up. I know CASE, but but it's a great organization, and we were both at this conference. So, Ann, I am so happy to have you here with me today.
Thank you, Janet. I am excited about being here. This is going to
Awesome.
be good.
Yeah. So tell everybody a little bit about Ann and a little bit about Alaska Gateway School.
Okay. So a little bit about Ann. I am 40 plus years in the field of education, the majority of it in special education. And currently I am the director for special education for the Alaska Gateway School District. I'm married, 43 years.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah, her husband was there. He's lovely. He's a pastor, isn't he?
Retired,
Retired
yes.
pastor. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
And yeah, 3 children, all grown, successful, 4 grandchildren, almost all grown.
Wow.
So
Good for you.
full life.
Yes,
Yes.
for sure. For sure. And
Mhm.
Alaska Gateway is where's Tok? Where's Tok, Alaska?
So Tok, Alaska is in South Central. It's considered part of the interior, and it holds the record for the coldest recorded temperature in the state of Alaska.
Oh,
That was several
okay.
years ago. We didn't get there this year. We were close, but not quite. The negative 70s was pretty cold.
So what is the recorded coldest temperature? And were you there when that happened?
No, I was
Okay.
not
Okay.
there. I was not here when that happened. No, it's negative 80 something, but I don't remember exactly what.
My goodness. Oh, I can't. That's freeze your lungs cold, right? I mean,
Yes,
you can't stay out very
yep,
long in that.
you definitely need something covering your mouth and nose to breathe through when you're in that cold of weather. And don't be in it long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't stay out in it long. You can't be, because you just die. You would just freeze to death, right? Wow.
Yeah, it's hard to breathe that cold of an air.
Wow. Okay. It takes a special kind of person to live there, and I'm not that person. I don't even like 60 degrees.
I know, friends down south are, like, complaining, "Oh, it's 40 degrees, it's so cold," and I'm like, "Yeah, come up here.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll
For
show
sure.
you cold."
Yeah. I lived in Michigan, so I know some cold, but I don't know that cold. I mean, I know negative 20 is about as cold as we would get, but that was rare. That was rare. Zero, we lived in zero weather and below freezing a lot, but not negative 20, 30, 40. No, 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 no. That's really cold. That's really cold.
It's warmed up here. We're in the negative 20s.
Lovely.
It feels much better.
And it is, for those of you that are listening right now, it's February 12th, 2026. So we're still in the grip of winter for sure. So up there especially. So okay. So Alaska Gateway, tell me maybe a little bit about the demographics and how many kids, and is it K-12? Do you have pre-K? Tell me about that.
So Alaska Gateway School District actually encompasses about 28,000 square miles. It extends from the Alaska Range to the Yukon River and the Canadian border. Our student population is approximately 400, but that is spread out over 6 different communities, as well as our homeschool reach program. So we actually have schools in Dot Lake, Mentasta, Tetlin, Northway, Eagle, Toke, um, and we did have one in Cross, but we had to close that one down. And then we have our homeschool program.
Wow.
It's a statewide program.
Yeah.
So it's a big community,
So
large district.
do you go to all of those schools?
I do.
You do.
do. Typically, I am in the office on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then Tuesday and Thursdays, I travel to the different sites. The closest one, other than obviously the one in Toke, so the closest one is about 45 miles away, and then the furthest one is 175 miles away. So that one is always an overnighter.
Mm.
You can drive. We are on the road system, although the roads to some of these communities are not like when you think, "Oh, you just get out on the highway and drive."
No, no, you don't.
You don't. And
Uh-uh.
it's not highway roads, but it's
Right.
still roads that are navigable. Um, the Eagle, school is the one that's about 175 miles away, and it's only accessible by road, for about 5 months out of the year, and the rest of the year, you have to fly in.
So you fly. You do fly some?
Some.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Yeah,
it's
I knew
crazy.
that. I knew that there was a lot of instances, especially before teletherapy, speech therapists flew. They flew up there. They would go like once a month, and that not enough, and everybody had to kind of go through what their plan was, and so has that changed? Are you guys using technology more now as technology has become available? Does that happen?
It does happen. And so for Alaska Gateway School District, we use teletherapy for all of our speech services.
Mhm.
Uh, and then our school psychologist will come in 3 times a year and to do evaluations, reevaluations. Although she is now beginning to do some of them online as
Virtual,
well.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's starting to happen.
Mhm.
Our occupational therapy and physical therapy, the therapists come in once a quarter. They'll fly or drive in once a quarter, and then after that, we will, you know, they show us what to do, and then we do it,
Right,
and then
right,
they come back and check to see if we're making any progress.
right, yeah. It's way different. It's way, way different than anything you would see in other states, honestly. I mean, but you've done I know you do what you have to do to try to get the services to the students, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. We're legally responsible for servicing these kids, but even if we weren't, we would service our students.
Right,
You know,
right,
that's that's just what we do in education. We make sure that the students are taken care of and that their needs are being met.
right, right. Of course. So when you talk about like these services and how you handle them, how many kids in special education do you have? If you have 400 students, not every child's. What's your utilization look like?
So right now we are at 77 students in
Significant.
special education.
Yeah.
Some of that is speech only services, but the majority of that are students with some kind of disability.
And the other thing that I know you and I talked quite a bit when we were at dinner, but like there's also some cultural things that really need to be considered when you're talking about working, because you're not just, I mean, there's cultural anywhere. I get that. But there's significant cultural differences when you're talking about native people to Alaska versus your, you know,
Right,
other
right.
children.
And so 3 of our, districts are like 90 to 100% native. And then Toke is kind of a mixture,
Mm-hmm.
and, Eagle and Dot Lake are still a mixture, but less.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, but yes, and there are cultural differences with our native population. We meet those differences head on, though,
Mm-hmm.
and we have people in the district that will that are go to the schools, the different sites, and work with the teachers and the community, kind of as a liaison, and help us,
Navigate
make
that.
sure that
Yeah. Yeah.
we're doing okay.
Yeah. Because it's important, that's
It is
just, yeah,
important.
it's so important. Yeah.
Their language is important to them, and we want to preserve that, and, their traditions and culture,
Mm-hmm.
that's important as well, and so we want to be respectful of that as we navigate into their communities to help with the education of their students.
Yeah. And the one school that you closed, it was closed because of declining enrollment. Is that why?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, if
State of
that,
Alaska
oh, sorry.
In the state of Alaska, you have to have at least 10 students to keep a school open,
Okay.
and they had consistently been under that, like 7 to 8 students, and, luckily, they're only, like, 12, 15 miles up the road from Tok, and so we can bus them in.
Ah,
Our parents
okay.
will drive them in.
Okay. So that it's unlikely that that one will reopen then.
Yeah,
No?
probably not.
Okay. Yeah. Just curious, if it waxes and wanes, like, how do you handle that if it changes, one generation you'll have 5 and then the next generation you have 20, what do you do, right? So, I was curious about that. So, but it
Yeah.
sounds like you've got, it got it figured out. That's really it's just so then when you look at your staff, um, is it primarily, like, Alaskans, people that have moved there? Are there natives that become teachers? What does that look like for you guys?
So, you're aware there is a terrible teacher shortage,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
and that's everywhere.
Mhm.
And so, most of our staff right now have come up from outside of Alaska. Um, we have, a couple in the sped department. I'm just talking about in the special department. Um, and so we do have a couple of teachers that, are from Alaska, whether they're actually from the Tok area but they are from somewhere in Alaska. Um, we have 3 teachers that are from the Philippines, and this is their 2nd year with us. They're doing well. And then the rest of our teachers come up from the South somewhere.
We all feel it. Students are struggling more than ever with emotional and behavioral challenges. Lighthouse Therapy offers virtual, hybrid, and in person behavioral and mental health support that builds around your school environment. Our licensed professional are trauma informed, experienced, and trained to work with K 12 students and staff. You don't get a cookie cutter approach, you get a partner who listens, adapts, and builds trust. Because when students feel safe and seen, they thrive. Learn how you can get support at your school at lighthouse-therapy.com/brighter together. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to think about all of the nuances that you guys have to go through to ser but I love that you do, and the passion is there because these kids need you. They just need you. And has your whole career then, Anne, been in Alaska? Have you always lived in Alaska?
No, no, this is our 10th year in Alaska. We are I'm originally from Mississippi, my husband from Louisiana, New Orleans,
In the South,
and
yeah, that you're
yeah,
far from
that's
the
out.
South, yeah.
This is our 10th year in Alaska, and, no, I retired in Mississippi, and then we headed north,
Wow.
um, and so, now 10 years, here we are.
Your
Who
kids are not
knew?
all in Alaska, though. I think I remember us having that conversation that they were
No,
not there.
no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
We have, our 2 oldest, children are in Texas, and our, youngest
Yay,
is in
Texas.
Alabama.
Yay, Texas.
Yay, Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's where I am in Corpus Christi. So, yeah. So when you retire, because you are getting ready to retire, right? Pretty soon.
Yes, I am, pretty soon.
Congratulations, and thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for those kids that you served for all of those years because, the impact we have as educators is just beyond what we can measure. So thank you for all of those years of service. I'm sad that that you're retiring, but I'm happy for you that you are retiring. That's amazing. So do you plan on staying? Are you going to stay in Alaska, or do you think you'll move?
We'll go back south
Yeah.
where we can be closer to family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you end up settling in Texas, you need to let me know because we will definitely get together. Texas is big, but it is not as big as Alaska. So,
True.
yeah.
Wherever I settle, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
We can always
definitely.
visit.
Yeah.
Who knows? You may have a conference wherever I'm gonna be living, and we'll have dinner.
Yeah, absolutely. It was super fun. And it's I love the fact that you have just so much knowledge and you have embraced where you are. Now, when you leave, how hard is it going to be for them to find somebody to replace you then? Do you know? Like, is there a succession plan that they're going to put in place? How does that work?
So they'll advertise my position, soon, and start looking, and then people will apply. Hopefully,
Right?
um, it's always great if we can promote from within. I know I have a couple of teachers that are working on their educational administration master's degree, but they're not quite there yet. So that might be a possibility of looking at that. You
Doing
know,
something like interim until they're
yeah,
ready. Yeah. Okay.
until they're ready. Are there, maybe, someone great out there just waiting on an opportunity, and this will be it, and they'll move to Toke and
There you go. So if you're listening, right, and in about,
right,
this will come out in about 6 weeks. So it'll be about the time that
perfect
you guys are
timing.
starting to really look for somebody. So
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
so with that in mind, where do people go if they want to learn more about Alaska Gateway School District?
So we have a website. You can go on and look on the website, or you can just Google Tok, Alaska Gateway School District, and find all kinds of information and get great pictures. I will tell you, the northern lights are amazing up here,
Yeah.
and we get them quite often.
That's a
So,
bucket list of mine. I wanna see the Northern Lights. It's a definitely something I wanna do. Haven't done it yet, haven't done it, but it's definitely on my bucket list, so.
well, you need to hurry up and visit up here, and then I can
Do they do
take
they
you out.
do they come when it's warm? Because 'Cause I'm not coming if it's 70 below 0 up there.
It's not 70 anymore, but they do come, when it's warm, but you don't see them, like, once the weather starts warming up, the daylight is here longer,
Well, that's right,
and
yeah, because.
and so they come out at night, and it still looks like the middle of the day, so you can't really see them. So, um, if you wanna come before winter, or, like, coming out of winter, March is a good time to see them, and it's not that cold, or,
Okay.
fall.
Yeah, not that cold and is very definitely relative terms, right? Janet
This is
does
true.
not like the cold, I'm telling you. That's the hardest part is I know that in order to see them, I have to go when it's cold. I'm like, I don't go to God. Yeah. So in you touched on something I completely didn't think about. So how many hours of daylight do you guys, what's the shortest day and what's the longest day for you guys then?
So it's the solstice, the winter solstice, that's the
How many
shortest
hours, I
day.
mean, is what I'm saying. How many
Um,
hours of daylight and how many hours of dark do you guys end up with?
so we end up, with a little over 3 hours of daylight, you know,
On the
by the
shortest,
middle
right?
of,
Yeah.
yeah, and then you start adding, like, a half a minute to a minute a day, every day until it gets, you know, it'll be 3 o'clock in the morning and it's still
Still
daylight.
daylight. Yeah.
Yeah. But then as soon as you hit that date in June, right, then
Mhm.
you start losing that half a minute or minute every day until you're back to
Yeah.
barely any daylight.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
So you learn to have blackout curtains and really good lighting.
yes, exactly.
I would
That's
say. Does it mess with your system, like the rhythm of your life? Do you notice a difference?
I don't normally notice much of a difference because, I that's what I tell people, I live inside, I work inside, and, the biggest difference is on the weekends when I can't get out to go snowshoeing or hiking or something. But then in the summer, man, you can be out all night,
Oh, yeah, because you can see, right? You can be out,
and we
yeah.
grow great vegetables.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, yeah. It's a short season, but if you can get them to grow, right, and get them, yeah,
Yeah,
they've got the light.
yeah,
I didn't think about that.
we plant a
Um,
lot of things.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's amazing. I'm sorry, I picked your brain, I think, more about Alaska than I did about your school, and I didn't mean to do that,
that's okay.
but it's
No, but
yeah,
I do wanna say
sure.
about our district, one of the great things that we are moving towards is a, CTE consortium plan. We are collaborating with 2 other districts in our area to, form a career technical educational program where the kids or the students from these outlying villages can come in and spend, 4 to 6 weeks just really focused on whether it's, electrical or plumbing or welding or heavy metal or, those big machines that they
Right.
drive, that
Mhm,
kind of thing.
mhm.
And I was just speaking this morning with, our CTE, director about a program for, our paraeducators so our high schoolers could graduate from high school ready to go into the workforce as a paraeducator. Those are hard in these communities, and so have them trained, once they graduate and they have their certificate and everything, then they're ready. Then we have, people that, are not leaving their area,
Right.
but they're
Homegrown.
employable right away.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, we're super excited about that program and trying to work towards, towards that. And then the other thing that I am super excited about as well is, an area, and any special ed teacher or director can tell you one of the hardest things is for us to transition our special ed students from high school
Yeah,
into
and
everyday
yeah,
life.
mhm, yeah,
And so, we are working on a new program for that where, we are planning better and working better and finding those programs that our students need so that we can help them. The Division of Vocational Rehabilitation, in the state of Alaska is great, and they're great to work with, but it's just not enough.
mhm, mhm.
So we need, for those students, especially those, um, that are gonna graduate with a specific learning disability. They just struggle in a particular area or something,
Mhm.
and they graduate but they're not ready to, do something else.
Right,
We're working really hard to get all of those pieces in place so that our students will have what they need when they leave us, when they graduate from high school or when they age out.
right.
So they've had the training that they need to be employable, whether it's in our local area or if they, want to move on
Mhm.
and do something else. So it's a big jump for us, but we are really dedicated to making life better for our students when they leave so they don't feel like we just kicked them out of the
Right.
nest and
Yeah, now
floundering.
what, right? Now what? Or
Yeah.
parents say, "Now what?" Right? And I it,
Yes.
it's such a great thing because I've seen so much education seems to really be shifting towards student-centered education.
Yes.
Career and technical education. The what do we do, transition. Let's get the special needs kids transitioned into something that they want to do,
Yes.
and that's beautiful because, it's so important, and the fact that education has take in that direction, because it's really, I mean, IEPs, individualized education plan, when you put that across to all students, then you get an education that's tailored to where you want to go as an adult. And I'm really hopeful that eventually colleges will do the same thing. Let's not
Yes.
spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on stuff that we don't need, and you don't need in order to do this
Right.
job. Why do I have to take all of these general electives? Give me the tools that I need to be able to do the job that I want to do, but let's do it in 2 years instead of 4 or 5 years. College is, it's a 4-year plan, but it becomes a 5-year plan. And really,
Right.
do we need all of those years? I mean, to me, it seems like. So I'm excited to see where education is going, and I'm excited to hear that you guys are doing that, because it's so heartwarming to know that the kids are going to, even though you're retiring, the kids are going to continue to get the things that they need for the next generation. And it's exciting to hear and to see that. And I know your passion, Anne. I know that you love the kids and that you want what's best for
I
them.
do.
Even
Yes.
even with retirement on the horizon, I know that you will put a plan in place for what's next or who's next. So thank you for all that you do, and thank you for being on Brighter Together. It was so great to see you and to
It was
connect up
fun.
with you. Yeah, it's so fun,
Yeah.
so
I
fun.
appreciate the invitation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's we're just brighter together. So keep up the good
Yeah.
work.